welcome back to JoJo's Infinite Universe. Today I want to talk about beliefs and how beliefs change and make your reality. Everyone has their own sense of beliefs, and I'm not just talking about religious beliefs, I'm talking about what you believe is true. That is what creates your reality. So if you can't believe something to be true, you'll never be able to experience or bring it into your reality. This episode, as you're out there watching, each one of you are going to have a different belief about who I am and how my experience has impacted me. And all that's just going to be based on your experiences and how you perceive the world and your beliefs. So when you think about that, everyone is perceiving situations in a totally different lens. Beliefs are the lenses that create your reality. It's that simple. So, what beliefs are holding you back? What beliefs are holding you back to your ultimate life? Is it beliefs of your unworthiness? Is it voices in your head that other people put there? Your thoughts are not you. They're like old programming. So, if you think about it, think about an Apple computer in the 80s with the big floppy disks, and they were slow as heck. If you were still operating that computer today with that same programming that was put into that computer in the 80s, do you think it's still going to work? Well, that's what our brains are. All these old programs that have been firing left and right. You have had an experience when you were a kid where somebody told you not to do something because it was going to hurt you. So you avoided it your whole life, even if it was supposed to bring you joy, such as a roller coaster. If your father was afraid of a roller coaster, you might be afraid to go on one. Or your beliefs might not have anchored in that strong for that specific belief. But it's just everything you hear and experience. It could be a boyfriend when you were a teenager that said you were ugly and nobody was going to love you, and that stuck in your brain and you never told it differently. So how do you change your beliefs? You need to tell a different story. And you just need to take the step and leap of faith and show yourself that you are okay. So what I say when I mean that is when I'm in, my brain is always lying to me. And it is. And once you get to a certain point, you'll realize that most of the things your brain is telling you is not true. Such as you're not worthy. You're not worthy of love. True love. Your flaws are too much for other people. So you hide them away. Well, those are the things that connect us. You are a special snowflake that has been designed uniquely by God. Each one of us, specifically unique. We are so very special. Like, it is a miracle that you are even here. What are you doing with that miracle? It's important for us to share these gifts that we've been given, but instead we let our beliefs hide them away. I'm too weird. Nobody's going to accept this part of me. But all you're doing is holding yourself back from your full life, from your full potential. I hid my spirituality and my psychic and medium gifts for a very long time because I didn't feel like I could be accepted for them. And now that I've accepted them inside myself, I have found the people that accept them in me. And my life has been nothing but more fulfilled every time I'm able to accept a different part of myself. And that's what I want for all of you. I want you to look at your beliefs. Are you still operating in old programming that were put there by other people? Are you going to take back your power and reprogram your brain to work for your highest potential? We as a planet need you to. And I know that sounds ridiculous, but by you being the special gift that God created you to really be, you then lift up others and allow them to use their gifts, which then ripples and ripples and ripples. So if we want a new world, if you want a new life, you need to be the thing you want to see. It's kind of crazy. This game of life is designed that way, that you have to change in order for your world to change. But that's the lesson. The lesson is that everything's on your insides, not on the outsides. Our world is designed to say, look for validation outside of you. But all that does is bring you more misery and pain until you can accept the parts of you, the beautiful, beautiful parts of you. You will be stuck in a cycle of unfulfillment and not understanding that there's such magic in the world once you accept your full self. So I'm asking you, please do not hold yourself back. Be in your full power, because we as a collective need you to step up. We need you to stop letting other people affect your energy. We need you to walk in the divine light that you have been given. I know you can do this. If I was able to overcome all my darkness, you are able to overcome yours. I promise you, it's in the beliefs. If you sit back and look at all the different ones that you have that are affecting your everyday life, you'll start to realize how you are creating the world that you're living in. Do you think someone doesn't love you? Then that means that you don't love you. Because as you love those pieces of you, the outside world will embrace those pieces of you as well. Sometimes that might mean that you need to change partners or friend groups. But those people are just trying to show you who you really need to be by showing you who you're not. So always remember, there is no good or bad. Everything is just happening for you. But you are the one that needs to recognize where you should be and where you should stay. Stay in the places that lift you up. Stay in the places that make you grow. Stay in the places where you feel safe and cared for and loved. Because your true tribe, the people that are really designed, your soul family, if you will, they are the people that are going to accept you for all the weirdness of you. And I love weird people. The weirder, the better, because that means they're authentic. They are being their authentic selves. And that is all we need. We just need you to be you. That's it. It's that simple, but yet the hardest thing you'll probably ever figure out to do. Because it's like undoing an onion layer by layer. You find one, you resolve it, and then another pops up. And it's an endless, endless journey. But it gets quieter. The mind goes more to peace. And you start to feel that safeness that you didn't think even existed. You're able to be yourself in any room without having to change your version, because you accept you. And you'll know that the right people will always be there. I'm asking you to shine your light, to find your way to you, because I am so excited for your journey. I am telling you it's not going to be easy, but it is so going to be worth it. when the darkness starts to fade and your cup of love continues to fill, you will then be able to fill the cup of others. And together, we can change this world. I bid you adieu. I will speak to you next week. If you have any questions for the show, please DM them at Instagram's JoJo's Infinite Universe, or you can email them at jojo'sinfiniteuniverse@gmail.com. Information is below. If you like the podcast, please subscribe and share. And next week, we'll be talking about another thing that I learned during this process of healing. Have a blessed and magical week. So, I received my first question for the podcast. I'm so excited. Okay, it is. I have been dating a guy for 3 months and we still have not had sex. I feel like if he isn't getting it from me, he's getting it from somewhere else. What should I do? Well, that's a really good question. And very difficult to answer with not more details. However, I will say, if he has not given you a reason to believe that you have any reason to not trust him, then I would just have a conversation. Most people don't feel very comfortable having conversations about sex with their partners. But I found that if you can't have open, good communication that about sex, then what about when situations get even harder? Are you going to be able to have those very difficult conversations with that person? I found that these complicated conversations are a little bit more of a test for us to in our relationship to see how strong we are, how well you can communicate. So if he hasn't given you any reason to believe that you shouldn't trust him, if he's very caring and the rest of the relationship is great, then I would just communicate with him. Maybe he's shy, maybe he's not like the other guys you've ever dated, and that might be a good thing. But also, I don't want to be completely oblivious to the opposite side of this. If you do see things, I mean, make sure that it's real and that it's not your beliefs that are stopping you or showing you or validating that you should not trust him. I found that your best bet is to try to focus on the things that are going well in your relationship and not the things that are going bad in your relationship, unless, the bad things are more than the good things. Because the things that you put your focus on is what you're going to magnify. So if your relationship and you're focusing on the good things, you're going to magnify more good things. If you focus on the bad things, you're just going to bring in more bad. And that's the way we are with our beliefs. We're attracting that validation because the universe is always going to validate what you're believing. So that's why this show, I've talked a lot about how our belief structure creates our reality. It also creates it magnetizes everything that we are experiencing. So if you believe you're going to be poor, you're going to be poor. If you believe that that men are jerks, all men that you encounter are going to be jerks. So I'm not saying that those beliefs didn't come from somewhere. They all have. That's how we have to change the story. So for this girl, I am saying have the difficult conversation, but have it in a kind and compassionate way. Be vulnerable with your feelings. Do not try to manipulate or control the conversation, which I used to have a very hard time doing, to be perfectly honest, because I was always afraid of what the answers might be. But don't let fear stand in the way of your love, because fear or love is the antidote of fear. So please, please learn how to have these complicated conversations in a healthy way, one that lifts up your relationship. So I recommend going in, having the conversation, explaining to him how you're feeling, and ask if there's anything you can do. You can also just say, hey, dude, it's been 3 months. I kind of am ready to get physical. Is there a reason we haven't yet? Like it can be just that simple. It doesn't have to be some serious conversation. Like I said, he might be shy, or there might be a reason that he's afraid to talk about. So give him the bridge of the conversation. And if it continues to not happen, then you have to make a decision. Is this relationship going to work for you at the state that it's at, or if it's not? And then you just need to make a choice. Yes, these choices are not simple to make. They're full of emotions, but they are as simple as the choice. So please do not let past relationships, past trust issues affect future relationships. Please heal those things in yourself and remind yourself that that person is not the old person. They are not the person that hurt you. Reframe your story, change your beliefs, and change your life. I hope that helped.